What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I hope you like this video. This is your review for Black Ink Crew season. I don't even know what the hell season we on, child. Black Ink Crew Chicago season 7, episode 777. Somebody play that number. 777. Whatever. So we start this episode off. They were going back over the meeting / argument from last weekend. From last week's episode, and basically realizing that it really was just Charmaine and Drea arguing with Prince. Like, nothing was accomplished, nothing got settled, and Charmaine ended up airing out everybody's quote-unquote dirty laundry, which then we see Drea and Prince talking, saying, listen, it's not, like, nothing is going on between us. I can't believe that Charmaine did that. I can't believe Charmaine went there. And Prince was like, yeah, I can't work for her. Like, I can't work for somebody like that. Like, why would you do that to me? Knowing that I'm dating your friend, why would you do that to me? Why would you put me out there like that? So then they asked Prince, well, did you tell Mariah what Charmaine said? And he was like, hell no. See, that's the mistake. Because you have to know that at some point Charmaine is gonna say something, because that is her friend. So you should have went on and just went on and said something. But later on in the episode, child, we see Mariah done found out because Charmaine done called her, talking about, I can't live with myself if I don't tell her. That's my girl. That's my friend. So, of course, she done texted and told her what was going on. So now Mariah got an attitude with Prince and was like, listen, why wouldn't you tell me something like this? Like, regardless of whether it's true or not, why wouldn't you tell me that this is what was going on, that this was a rumor? You got me out here looking crazy. And Prince was like, listen, ain't nothing going on between me and Drea. I ain't been with Drea. I ain't never been with Drea. We ain't never slept together. We are friends. That is it. That is all. I do not understand why this is an issue, okay? But of course, we know it's an issue because Charmaine had gotten her feelings about it, and she's trying to pull up some bullshit. So now Prince and Mariah are in a bad space. I don't think they broke up, but they ain't in a good space. Prince ain't gonna work at the shop no more because he like, I can't trust you. Like, why would you do that to me, kind of thing. And I guess Drea back in town because we saw Drea and Prince doing the hookah dance to somebody's house. I guess Drea's house. We don't know where Prince lives. So now back over to Non-Man, we know that Ryan is off on his sabbatical, and so we got Don and Thor and the guy from London. They all sitting around, basically again talking about what was going on at Second City, and that's why he didn't want to be there tattooing because there's too much drama and there's too much shit. Well, Don decides that he wants to have a health expo down to Non-Mag. He said, after I got sick earlier this year, I've been kind of doing a cross between holistic health and, Western medicine. And I think it's important that we bring people together, especially with everything going on this year with the Rona and stuff. And let's have a health expo. Let's let people talk to the experts and see other people of color in this field, in this health field. And so he wants to have something at the shop, and everybody's cool with it. He said, so for everybody that comes through, if they go to every table and they go through the gauntlet type situation and they get to the end, then they'll get a free tattoo, which of course is going to bring people in. A free small tattoo. Like, they ain't doing people's arms and legs and stuff. And so of course everybody's like, it's a good idea. And I think it is a good idea. It was a great, great idea. So later on in the episode, we see them doing it. Like, of course, it went well. People showed up, and we had the different people talking. And Dom was like, this is just what I envisioned. Like, I'm glad that it went well. I'm glad that it went down the way it went down. And Kitty and Drea showed up. And Kitty was like, listen, Don, I love you, and I'm going to support whatever you do. And I'm not scared of you, and I'm not scared of Ryan. And I'm come around, Ryan Henry, like she said, Ryan Henry don't move nothing around here. She didn't know whether Ryan was going to be there or not. But she said at the end of the day, what happened between her and Ryan was when that stuff hit the internet about Anthony, she called Ryan and said, listen, they tearing you up on the internet. It ain't a good look. Ryan, in turn, cussed her ass out. She said, and we ain't been good ever since. Here's the thing. I believe exactly what she said because we know how Ryan is. We know Ryan getting his feelings and getting his bag about being right and nobody checking him and nobody telling him when he's wrong. He's always been that way. There's always been a problem. So I believe everything Miss Kitty said, child. Now, while all of this is going on, we see that Ryan, it did go to his sabbatical. He's going to a therapist. She's on the outskirts of the city. It's like a week-long, very intensive therapy session. It's basically one session after another session after another session after another session. And we saw that in that first session, we saw her really trying to get to the crux of the problem. And what it sounds like, and I ain't nobody's therapist and I ain't sat on nobody's couch, but the one thing she said was a lot of it goes back to his sister and the situation with his sister and how he blames himself for what happened to his sister. Because ultimately we know, I mean, if you don't know the story of Ryan's sister was murdered by her boyfriend. And the morning that his sister was murdered, he was actually supposed to be there. He said, but the night before I got drunk, I was down hanging out with some college folks and I got drunk and I didn't make it to her house. And he's always carried that guilt that if he had been there, maybe he could have stopped it from happening. He could have saved her. But let me say this, and I know you know this, Brian, and I know people have told you this before, and the therapist even told you that. She said that it is time to let yourself off the hook. It is time to forgive yourself. It's time for you to forgive yourself. And ultimately, who's to say that if you had shown up that day, maybe you would have stopped it from happening that day. But this man was obsessed with your sister. This man was unstable. This man was a little crazy. So you might have stopped it from happening that day, but who's to say he wouldn't have come back the next day, the next week, the next month? Or who's to say he wouldn't have killed you? So now your mom loses 2 children in one day. I'm not saying that makes it okay, and I'm not saying that makes it better. But God's plan is God's plan. You weren't supposed to be there that day. That wasn't part of the plan. That's why you weren't there. And I know it's hard for us to take it from that point of view when we're in it. Like when it's your loved one, when it's your situation. I know that. I'm not going to sit here and make like that it's easy. But like the therapist told you, it has been 12 years. At what point do you give yourself permission to get off the hook? And she even said, well, what do you think your sister how do you think your sister would feel about the things that you've done? And he said, it doesn't matter. She ain't here to see it. He was like, I've probably done 10,000 tattoos in my lifetime. She hasn't seen any of them. So whatever I accomplish, it doesn't matter. She's not here to see any of it. And so so what we found out is that he had therapy sessions with like his parents, his sister, even Anthony came out there and had another therapy session. And so he really did open himself up to trying to figure it all out. And the one thing his mother said that hit me, his mother said, I've never seen somebody not be happy to be successful. Like, it's like you're not enjoying, you're not happy, you're successful, you've done great things, and it's like you can't allow yourself to enjoy it because it's almost like you feel guilty about it happening. You feel guilty about being in a good place and being successful, and that's really, really sad. Like, I feel for Ryan. I know I give Ryan a hard time, and I do. But it is a self-sabotage. And so the one thing I say is I appreciate the fact that he's really trying to figure it out and he's really trying to do the work. So I give him kudos for that because a lot of people wouldn't do that. A lot of people won't do that. So I definitely give him kudos for trying to figure it out. And then he finally had the non-mag people come in at the end and do a session with him. And again, the lesson in that session is lean on your friends. Like, like Don said, you'll give me the shirt off your back, but you won't tell me when you're cold. He didn't say that. That's how I'm saying it because Don didn't say that. But it's kind of that same mindset. It's like, you'll give me the shirt off your back, but you won't let me know when you need me. And it's okay to need people. It's okay to open up. It's okay to be vulnerable. And so that was good. And then in the end, she had Ryan doing some yoga and let him know why yoga is so therapeutic and what about yoga is so I feel like it was a good thing. I appreciate the fact that Ryan let us in enough to know he's doing the work, but we weren't there for all of it because a lot of it is private. A lot of it is stuff that only him and his therapist really need to know and hear and understand. But I give him kudos for even opening up what he opened up to us so that we could hear even some of it. And like I said, see that he's doing the work. So kudos to you, Ryan. Y'all, that's pretty much the episode. Like, I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't have nothing else. Yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.